Hi, this is Lynn from the Happy Hormone Cottage at our newest location in Mason, and we're ready to have a cottage conversation. Come on in and join me. Welcome to my Happy Hormone Cottage conversations. We do this every October pretty much to kind of reflect on the previous year's events and kind of get you up to date. A lot happens in a year in women's health, and so I think it's a great idea to just spend some time talking and just informing you of what's been going on recently. So first of all, since you're on my website looking at this, don't forget to click on my blog. Across the top of the website, you will see different categories, and blog is the far right-hand button. That blog I write a couple times a month, maybe every other week, and that really does keep my finger on the pulse of what's going on in the culture in our field. So those blogs are often really informative to answer questions, gain information, have you relate to other women who maybe have a similar story to yours, and it's just been really, I've had a great response to my blog. Don't also forget to check out my recommended readings and resources section for more clinical information and so on. And we also have a list of local doctors and how you can also go down to the bottom of that list, type in your zip code, and that'll become a list of doctors in your area who may also work with us on customized BHRT. So we've tried to make our website user-friendly. I'm really proud of what we've done. So I hope you enjoy yourself on my website and learn a lot. I think to just recap and kind of give direction to this, I think the main thing that we do at the Happy Hormone Cottage is very simple. We have actually found a need among women and men that nobody else is doing. So if you can fill a niche that nobody else is doing and meet the needs of women in your society, it's a pretty good place to be. And our main reason for being is on my mission statement right here. And so I'll read this. I haven't memorized it, but the Happy Hormone Cottage mission statement and goals. Our goals for the Happy Hormone Cottage is to live a life and run a company full of intention. We want to be fully engaged in educating women on their options for natural hormone balance, then empowering them to be fully committed to living their best life naturally. We'll continue to serve the women who come to us by listening to their stories, validating them, and offering them hope and a strategy for their natural hormone balance. If we can continue to do this and love the women who come to us and honor them by fostering an authentic relationship with them, then we've lived our lives with purpose and intention. And for me, that just sums up the entire reason for doing what I do. We are a free educational resource facility. And quite frankly, here's the reason why. And listen to this, if you get nothing else, get this. I don't think that anybody else has women's backs in our society when it comes to the aging process and hormone balance. We have discovered that when we go to our traditional thinking doctors, whom by the way, I love doctors, but they really are, in many cases, drug therapists, which is fine. If you're sick, please get an antibiotic to fix your whatever you need. But I feel strongly that in this area of women's and men's health, where we're simply aging, that there really aren't enough tools in the doctor's toolbox to give you enough options. And so that's why there's such a need for us to be doing what we're doing and to give you that natural option. When you go to most doctors, healthcare practitioners today, and you discuss with them the fact that, let's say you're 35 or 38, 40, 42 years old, and you aren't sleeping, maybe you're somewhat depressed or anxious, and most women are, because again, this is a hormone imbalance. Let me just say a little aside here. What I do is not menopause related. We are not a menopause facility. We are a hormone imbalance facility. There's a difference. So we look at hormone imbalance. The first imbalanced symptoms are normally sleep, depression, and anxiety about the age of 35 or 40, believe it or not. So we go to our doctors in good faith. They're great people. Tell them our story. And the only options that we see happening are prescriptions for antidepressants or sleeping aids. And my husband says it best. He goes, are you Prozac deficient? Probably not. It's probably progesterone. So when I began my journey, I'm getting old, 7 years ago, and nobody had my back, my husband, Jeff, who's a pharmacist, God love him, went back to school for further training in Texas to become a compounding pharmacist. And he, as I mentioned in earlier pieces, and I won't go over that story again, but he saved me. And I thought, you can't marry my husband, cute as he is, but I can share his brain with you. And so I took what he did for me, and I'm just playing it forward for you. And what I know, my truth is this, is that I don't need a sleeping aid and I don't need an antidepressant. What I need is progesterone. If you want to take notes, it's a great time to get a paper and pencil, because here's what progesterone does. Progesterone's main tasks, and we lose it about the age of 35 as our ovaries begin to age, are this. And I'll say the list twice because I do talk fast. I'm from New York and I can, so why not? It's sleep. Progesterone helps depression, helps prevent anxiety. So we have sleep, depression, anxiety. Helps elevate the mood. Helps those darn sugar cravings. Helps prevent aches and pains. And a really big deal for progesterone is it helps balance estrogen to help prevent the risk of breast cancer. So if progesterone does those things, it helps sleep, depression, anxiety, elevates the mood, helps prevent sugar cravings, aches and pains, and helps prevent breast cancer, and that's the first line of defense, then what we would expect you to do is go to your doctor and get progesterone, right? Not so much. Guess what? Drug companies cannot patent what is found in nature. So they can't make a profit on that. They're not going to be selling that to your doctor. Your doctor's not going to know that he can prescribe that, probably. And so you're not being offered that. Do you see where I'm going with this? See why there's a need for me to educate you? So your first line of defense really, truly is progesterone. Then as you continue the aging process, it gets ever so much lovelier. You begin to lose estrogen levels as you age down the road. So if here's progesterone and it begins to dip, and here's estrogen and it doesn't, you pretty soon have an imbalance. It's going to get greater and greater. So the longer you go with progesterone decreasing at a quicker rate, estrogen decreasing at a slower rate, that imbalance issue becomes larger. Now, estrogen dominance is what most women I've met, most women are estrogen dominant. By the time they hit 40, 45, and 50, it's full-blown dominance. Write this down, then these 5 words. Estrogen is a fat storer. I'll say it again. Estrogen is a fat storer. So this should make sense. If most women over the age of 35, 38 are estrogen dominant, then we're all going to begin having excess weight, excess fat, correct? And it's going to measure out to be about 25 or 30 pounds. And if you've had a hysterectomy, it's going to be closer to 40 pounds that first year. So that's a big deal. When you also have estrogen dominance, that's the brain fog risk, the brain fog link. It's the heightened risk of breast cancer. Write this down. Unopposed estrogen can link to an increase of breast cancer, increased risk of breast cancer. So estrogen dominance can link to that. So by giving you progesterone to balance the estrogen dominance, you're going to get rid of brain fog. You're going to reduce the risk of that estrogen-dominated breast cancer link. You're going to help. It's not a magic where you're going to lose the weight. It's going to just peel off of you, but you're going to be able to have that estrogen let that fat go. So when you eat right and you work out, you'll be able to lose that fat that goes right around our middle. You know the love handles in the thigh area that's just disgusting and you want to just cut that off? That's going to disappear. It's going to go away with some work. So if you're not hormonally balanced, and the first place to start is estrogen and progesterone, you're not going to lose that weight there around the middle that we all get. I've always known it as middle-age spread. I mean, that's what I learned as I was growing up, and I don't want that. Why would you want that? So when you go to your doctor and you have those issues and they have the tools in their toolbox that aren't progesterone, I begin to worry. So if you're one of the lucky ones that goes to your doctor and you don't get an antidepressant or a sleeping aid, maybe he says, well, let's just do nothing and wait it out because you're getting older. I'm actually better with that, doing nothing at all, than to do something that's going to not be good for your health. Another thing in the doctor's toolbox most commonly is going to be the estrogen patch or an oral estrogen. The oral estrogen, estradiol specifically, and the patches, estrogen patches, there's still BHRT, which is bioidentical hormone replacement therapy, but doctors who use these don't normally check your hormone levels first. They slap a patch on you. This will help your hot flashes. See me in a year. And I think we deserve better. Let's check our levels. Let's not all get a patch slapped on. And here's the critical piece about the estrogen patch or oral estradiol. I just said a minute ago, we're all estrogen dominant, right? We have too much estrogen. And so why would you want to put more estrogen in your body when you already have too much? Does that make sense? Think about that. So you already have estrogen dominance, lack of progesterone. You need progesterone. You're being given more estrogen because we know that an estrogen patch will probably reduce a hot flash. Big deal. At what risk? At what expense? What's the opportunity cost? More brain fog, more weight gain, and increased risk of breast cancer. Does this make sense to you? It does not to me. That's why I do what I do. An even more unfortunate woman might go to their doctor and be given I call it the horse pee. It's the Premarin. It's the synthetic progestin called Pravira. That's not progesterone. Totally different animals. Progesterone we can compound naturally. Progestin is synthetic. I think the actual word is medroxyprogestin. I think my husband has said that word around the house before. Synthetic, not the same thing. So going the synthetic route with the horse pea Premarin is a lot of conjugated estrogens. It's mostly estrone E1. The Women's Health Initiative of 2002 had to stop their study because they found that women taking Prempro, which was Premarin and Pravira, the progestin, were having issues with strokes and heart attacks. They stopped the study, but those drugs are still being prescribed today. I'm like, really? Why? And so I really don't, want there to be a lot of women that are on that. So I'd rather have you do nothing at all than to go that route. But obviously, as you can see, there's a niche for what it is I do, which is customized therapy. So what sets me apart, besides the fact that I've got a really big mouth, love working with women, have I think a pretty good heart with a great mission statement that we do live every day. What sets us apart is we do saliva testing and combo kit testing. One thing I forgot to tell you before I show you the kits for testing is this. Oral estrogen in any, if bioidentical or the conjugated estrogen, whatever, oral estrogen studies have shown can raise the risk of blood clotting. So we don't like to use oral estrogen in any form. We use topical creams. I didn't want to forget that point. Okay, so what we do is we actually check your levels. Who knew? When you go to your doctor, again, what do you do first? Step on that darn scale. I hate that scale. You pee in a cup, they check your blood pressure. Why is nobody checking your hormone levels? I'm just asking, why? Why not? We need to be doing that. So at our facility, guess what we do? We check hormone levels because we have to have the science from your body to make a recommendation for your hormone balance, and we can customize it for you, and then we can adjust the dosing. It's a beautiful thing. It's beautiful. So we have kits. They're actually customized this year for me now from ZRT Lab in Oregon, saliva kits and the combo test. The difference is the saliva kit just collects your saliva first thing in the morning, which checks your estradiol level, progesterone level, testosterone level, and DHEA. It also will check your morning cortisol to level the measure of cortisol that your adrenal glands are producing or not producing to identify adrenal fatigue. Then it has a little test tube you can spit in. It's ever so lovely. Right before lunch, before dinner, and before bed. So we get a 4-spot cortisol check on you. So this kit here will check your cortisol levels to identify adrenal fatigue and your hormone levels. Pretty cool. The combo, and this is $240. I'll talk about insurance billing in a second. This kit is $60 more. It's $299. This does the same thing as saliva testing, but it also does a 4-point thyroid panel, which is free T3, free T4, TSH, and TPO. I have women coming into our facilities all the time that are all on either Synthroid or levothyroxine. I think that's the generic form of Synthroid maybe, and that all takes care of T4. And these women aren't feeling better. They have low energy. They're losing hair. They're fatigued. Their skin and nails are dry and brittle. They don't feel well. And so they go to their doctor and he says, we'll just double the dose. No one's checking free T3. Why not? Because when we do that check of free T3, we find that, oh my gosh, this woman might need Armour thyroid. She might need Nature thyroid. She might need her adrenal glands tweaked. I mean, it isn't just all a Band-Aid for one size fits most. So I think these kits are really they're great. They're very informative. Cost, price, reimbursement, $240, $299. When you purchase this at our facility, if we feel like you're a good candidate for this, we'll give you a sales receipt and an insurance reimbursement form that your doctor will sign when you go in for your visit down the road after one of our steps that we'll talk about. They'll sign that paper. You send those 2 papers into your insurance company for reimbursement, and most women have been getting reimbursed up to 80%. So it's not a huge investment or outlay of your money to try to get you better. Quite frankly, my opinion, which might be offensive to some, is this: my health is all I have. It's worth any amount of money. Even if I don't have insurance, or my insurance company, maybe Humana, which doesn't seem to reimburse well, maybe I've got Humana, no big deal. It's worth the $300 to get my levels checked so I can be helped, because hear me on this clearly. If the woman in the family does not feel well, the entire family unit suffers, and you know that. So let's get your levels checked. Let's just do that. That's the first piece. So once we get your levels back from the lab in about 7 to 10 days, I collect those. I send them on to my medical team, and you've also at our consultation with you that you came in for to get the kit. There was no charge for the consultation. It was a free office visit, step 1 consultation. It's free. You filled out a little paper on your symptoms and your medical history, and then when your results come back from these kits, Jeff, my husband, the pharmacist, and the medical team that he has up there will work on getting a recommendation for your hormone balance to your doctor or one of our doctors. He'll also include a therapy for adrenal fatigue if you have that, and a thyroid. If you have a thyroid issue, he'll also have a recommendation for thyroid therapy for you as well. So here's the big sticking point. You need to call your doctor, either a family doctor, a DO, an MD, an OBGYN, we don't care, we'll take anyone, and ask them this question: do you sign off on or approve customized or natural hormone replacement therapy? It's a yes or no question. We've had some women ask their doctors, nurse that, and they'll say yeah, and then they'll come in and they don't do that. What they do is they do the BHRT, which is the estrogen patch, or maybe an oral estradiol, which is not bad, but it's customized. It's one size fits most, and they don't check levels first. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about customized therapy for you, for one, okay? And if he does that, perfect, go to him or her. Let me talk for a second about why your own personal doctor that you've got a relationship with might not be comfortable with this. Let me show you my bumper sticker. Here's my bumper sticker. Can you see this? Condemnation without investigation is the height of arrogance. And this could really be for anything in our culture. Religious differences, educational differences, and it's true with medicine. Your doctor, most doctors, are not comfortable with what they do not know. Make no mistake, this is not taught in medical school. Natural therapy that's compounded by a compounding pharmacy, not taught in medical school. Sorry, it's just not. So they're not going to know what it is we do, and if they don't know, they're not going to be comfortable. So there's a good chance your doctor may not know anything about this, and he'll think, I'm not comfortable, I'm not going to be for that. And it doesn't make him a bad person, it just makes him not aware of what we do. So you have to educate your doctor. If you don't or can't, then we have doctors you can go to. What we do to facilitate that whole process, though, is this. We give you at your appointment with us a folder, a Happy Hormone Cottage folder, full of clinical studies. We have this one, The Truth About BHRT, a study on circulation and how it's safe in the bloodstream. We have a packet, a 45-page packet that has clinical studies in this. On top of these informational pages that we give you on my website, under recommended readings and resources, if you click on that and go in there, there's a practitioners button with a lot of studies for your doctor that are written in medical speak, that they're way above my head, but your doctor will understand. So we heard the complaint from doctors last year, gosh, I can't find any of the studies. So we did it for them. We collected all those studies. And by the way, this has been done in Europe for 25 or 30 years. This is not new. It's been done in Europe the last generation or so. We have the cohort study, the Fournier study. This is just now in our country becoming part of our consciousness. And so we have all the studies your doctor will need. Some will give you to hand him or her, and the rest are on my website. We also have lots of books. Look at this. We have Natural Hormone Balance, written by Dr. Uzi Reese. We have Ageless, written by Suzanne Somers. It's a great book, not written in medical speak, that's very explanatory of what it is we do. Adrenal Fatigue by James Wilson, about adrenal fatigue and how we're all so tired and what we can do about that, natural therapy. I'll talk about this book later. So there's lots of resources your doctor can also read. We also start our session when you come in for your step 1 consultation that there is no charge for that. We're an educational facility. There's no charge for that. We have an article from the Wall Street Journal written by 3 doctors, Dr. Erica Schwartz, Dr. Kent Holtorf, and Dr. David Brownstein. And it talks about why there's so much confusion and ignorance in the medical community today. So we always begin our consultations having our clients read this article. This tells them exactly, it tells you and them exactly why when you go to your doctor, they probably won't say, great, I'm in, I'm so excited for you, woo! Probably won't do that. And this article tells why. It's also on my website. Go right above where you are now to the recommended readings, and maybe 4 or 5 articles down, it'll say Wall Street Journal article, and it's entitled The Truth About Hormone Therapy. You can read it from home, The Truth About Hormone Therapy. So that'll give you a great overview of why your doctor may not, because again, of the bumper sticker, he may not be on board. So you're gonna have to be assertive. I'll tell you the truth. The women who come to me who are most successful are those that are sick and tired of feeling sick and tired, and they are done. And they're going to go to their doctor they've been to for a while, and they're not feeling any better. And they're going to say, listen, I love you, but what you've done hasn't helped me. I feel no better. In fact, I feel worse. And I want you to trust me that I've done the research to sign off on this natural therapy for me. And let's work together. Please partner with me, because hear me clearly on this. If you don't, I'm going to go to another doctor. Those are the women who do the best on my therapy. If you're a meek little cute little thing and you go, hello doctor, take me, I'm yours, you're not going to be a good candidate to come to me. Don't come to me. It's just not going to work for you. Now, I've done a lot of the work for you. On my website, which is right next to down from where the blog button is, you'll see a list of 35 doctors in our area here in the Cincinnati-Dayton area in northern Kentucky who do sign off on this. They've worked with us for years and years. They know about the Pickle Medicine Shop. Their clients are better. They're like, yes, finally I can help my women. I have doctors for you. But we always love to find new doctors. And if you like your doctor, you're comfortable with him or her, don't talk them into this, but say, look, here's the educational resources for you. Please make time to become familiar so you're going to be comfortable to work with me. This is not crack cocaine. This is called natural hormone therapy. And here's what we do. We know that as we age, we do lose hormones. Now, it wasn't a big deal back in the years of George Washington and before that, because women had 12 kids, half of whom died, and you were dead yourself at the age of 40. It wasn't a big deal. Today, we're living to be 90 and 100 years old, and you need hormones to go the distance and be healthy. Write this down. Estrogen does 300 jobs in the body. I'm going to say that again. It's very important. Estrogen does 300 jobs in the body. So when you're my age, the whopping age of 56, oh my God, and you don't have any more estrogen much left in your body to go the distance, what's going to happen? Who's going to do those 300 jobs? Well, they're not going to get done. You know, the number 1 killer of women my age is heart disease. So we give estrogen therapy, small amount every day based on your hormone levels to replenish estrogen levels to prevent heart disease. Frankly, I appreciate that. I don't want to die of heart disease. In our 60s and 70s, we have the heightened risk of dementia. I don't want that either. So we're going to use estrogen to protect the brain. We have studies that show that it does this. It's not a bad word. The horse pea, the conjugated estrogens, kind of gave it a bad name. It's not. Those were drugs masking as hormones. What this is, they're real hormones. See the difference? So you go to your doctor, you've got the test results back. My medical team has gotten your recommendation together for your body based on your results. We fax them to your doctor. And then you sit down with your doctor and dialogue with him or her about what it is you'd like to do and why. Most doctors, not all, but most, are coming through and saying, okay. They might sigh, okay, I'm sick of hearing about the Happy Hormone Cottage. Okay, all right, I give up. Okay, we'll try it. And that's okay. Every so often, I've got to make a phone call to a woman, and I've said, you know what? We just got a response from your doctor, not on board. So let me tell you what I see when I look at your levels. And I pull up their levels from ZRT Lab, and I read them, what I interpret what their levels mean. And I've never had a woman say to me, I don't thank you for calling, go away. They always say, oh my gosh, thank you for calling. Thank you for having my back. I do feel like crap. I do have brain fog, low libido. I'm not sleeping. I'm depressed. I'm heavier than I've ever been. I have no joy of life. And I just cannot go on another 50 years like this. So thank you for helping me. And I say to her, I have a doctor for you. And she goes, give me her name and number, I'm ready. And we send them to that doctor to get them treated. Because again, if what we were doing in our society was working, I wouldn't be in business. I'd be home knitting and having a cup of coffee. I wouldn't be out talking to women and mentoring them. You wouldn't need me if women were better. But they're not. They're not better. I never have met a woman yet who comes bouncing into me at the age of 60 saying, yes, I'm so glad to be here. I don't need you. That doesn't ever happen. I have women coming crawling on my hands and knees saying, I feel like crap, And so we try to have your back and get a strategy that we can customize for you. The beauty of what we do is we listen to your body. You actually have a voice in your treatment plan. And after a couple, 3 months, when you're better, you meet with my husband or our nurse, Jess, and for no charge, it's free. And they will listen to you, talk about how you're doing, how you're better, how you're still not better, and they will adjust dosing for you and work with your doctor to get that approval. We're great facilitators. We invite you in to listen to your story. We have tissues for those who are really not doing well. We have a strategy for you. You take the kit home, you do your test at home, send it in. One thing I didn't mention is after we get everything approved by the doctor, my compounders go to work making the therapy for you, and then you meet with either me or my other sidekick, Doris, and we explain to you again for a free 45-minute visit, no charge, how to use your cream and what to expect. Because education on this is very critical. It isn't like there's no taking pills. I mean, it's a cream you normally apply to your inner arm or someplace, which we go over with you, and we replenish your levels slowly. So natural hormone balance is not something you're going to feel better tomorrow. Woo, I'm better the next day. No, here's what we normally find happening so your expectations are realistic. The first 3 weeks, brain fog begins to lift. Energy begins to come back, mood begins to even out, so irritability gets less. Sleep begins to get better. If we can get you to sleep, that's a huge win. Tired women have no libido, right? If you're tired, it's like touch me and you die. So we want you to sleep again. And then you'll have a couple days of maybe taking a step back as your body begins to process this great cream. Then you just take steps forward. We begin to evaluate how you do it the 3rd month. But here's the question I have to ask you. How long have you not felt well before coming in to see us? And the answer is typically pretty long, several years. So to ask for 3 months is not unreasonable. It takes time to get there. Let's talk about adrenal fatigue for a second. I did mention that, our facility does 3 things and only 3 things well. We don't fix bunions. We don't fix broken bones. We don't repair broken marriages. We do work with 3 body systems that are all interrelated. The sex hormones, adrenal glands, and the thyroid. Because we know if the first 2 are off, the thyroid's going to be negatively impacted, and there's your weight and energy issue. So what we have, and I mentioned this book before, Adrenal Fatigue by James Wilson. Great read. His website is adrenalfatigue.org. Okay, we have this on my website for sale. All of these materials are on my online store or my recommended readings section. So go to the recommended readings to purchase the book if you want to. It's easy, quick. Or go to my online store to purchase the saliva kit or combo kit or the vitamins. So his therapy, Dr. Wilson's therapy, is simply taking this great vitamin. We have the Rebuilder and we have the Super Adrenal Stress tab. And this vitamin will help heal your exhausted adrenal glands. We also have supplements that we love, like vitamin D. Vitamin D, we recommend 5,000 units a day, helps prevent breast cancer, helps prevent depression and aches and pains. It's 10 cents a day, really. So we have everyone taking this. And then we look at the thyroid. We find often women who are imbalanced with their hormones and have adrenal fatigue, and frankly, who doesn't have adrenal fatigue with how busy we are today, the thyroid's a little iffy and a little sluggish, and that kicks in by itself by about the 3rd month. So we don't have to do anything for that directly. It's caused by a secondary effect of adrenal fatigue or a hormone imbalance. So that's in a nutshell what we do here. And I'm really proud of our 3-step process. Step 1 is the initial consultation to get tested. You come in to me, step 2, to get treated and get the therapy handed off to you. And step 3, another free visit with my husband, the pharmacist, or our nurse, Jess, is to get better. So get tested, get treated, and get better. This year, here's my new bumper sticker. You ready? It is become educated, become empowered, become committed to your best health naturally. I do want to clear up one piece of confusion. It's been brought to my attention that out in the market now are kind of quick fixes to hormone therapy and other things, erectile dysfunction, whatever, and there's no prescription. It's cheap. It's, they just say that it's a miracle, whatever, and it seems to work. I can tell you the truth from my perspective is that the FDA has regulations in place where to be non-prescriptive, you have to have a minimal amount of whatever ingredient in there that you can have, and if you go beyond that, it's 2% or whatever, you've got to have a prescription. So if you want to take the easy way out and just get something that's cheap, quick, and easy, it may help a little. I know you can go to the health food store and get progesterone. It doesn't hurt you, and it might help a little bit, but it's not going to be based on your body's needs and dosed physiologically for you. And because of the FDA, it's the one thing they do really well. The only thing maybe, but the FDA, they do have rules in place to protect us. And so to be prescriptive, you have to have a certain percentage of your ingredients be at a level and above. And so if it's non-prescriptive, it's going to be very weak. It's not going to be dosed accordingly for what you would need. So just buyer beware, do what you want, but just buyer beware on that piece. So you get what you pay for. So let's just have a little bit of a recap here, because I know that there's a lot of information. If you're new to this, it's going to be overwhelming. And I was a teacher for 30 years in inner city, so I like to have visuals here for those learners who are both auditory and visual. So important information for you would be, I call it an action plan. I'm always an action-based person because intentions have their own opportunities built in. So if we know that intentions have their own opportunities with them, then your intention is to become educated. Here you go. So you're going to read, research, and get informed about natural hormone therapy. And then I love number 2, know the difference between BHRT and what we do, which is compounded hormone therapy. BHRT is bioidentical hormone replacement therapy. It could be the estrogen patch, could be Vivel Dot, Clemera, could be the estradiol pill. Not bad products, but they're not customized for you. And practitioners who use them usually do not check hormone levels. They just slap it on you and say, there you go. And it's all estrogen. And what have I already mentioned to you? We're already estrogen dominant. What we needed is progesterone, not estrogen. So we check your levels and compound and customize for you. That's a huge difference. So if you call your doctor's office and say, do you do BHRT? They may very well say yes. That's not what we need. We want to know if they sign off on customized bioidentical hormone therapy that's made for just you. And by the way, let me just take a minute to tell you, some doctors who are still uncomfortable will say, oh, not FDA approved. That is a lie. That's a myth. Everything we make is FDA approved. But because we actually customize it for one person, which would maybe be you or me, we're under the Ohio State Board of Pharmacy. So that is a myth. I'm going to clear that up right now. And by the way, compounding's been around for hundreds of years. Back when my grandfather was a child, his doctor would compound a solution for him in a mortar and pestle and give it to him as medicine. Compounding's been around for years. We do a lot with hospice, with pain doctors, with veterinarians. So we're under the Ohio State Board of Pharmacy. So that myth about the FDA piece is simply not true. So don't let that scare. That's where education is key. Don't let that scare you. Get your levels checked, and I mean hormones, including the hormones of cortisol and thyroid. Find a doctor to listen, respect, and validate your hormone levels, and if yours won't, you got to be assertive. We have a lot of doctors who will work with you that are wonderful as well. Don't band-aid a health issue with drugs. Find the cause of the issue. Explore holistic health options. Take charge of your journey. Then we're going to talk about this next piece in a minute, kind of a new program we've rolled out that we've discovered the last couple of years. So don't settle for a lower quality of life. Become educated, empowered, and committed to your best life naturally. This is, again, your action plan, and again, intentions create their own opportunities. So intend to get educated in this, and you will. I have women going by my facility all the time, and they'll kind of waddle on by. They're so cute. They're older, probably post-menopause. And they will say, I hear them say to their friends, let's say the Happy Hormone Cottage sign, and they'll say, oh, hormones, menopause, done with that. And they waddle on. I'm like, sorry, not true. When you're aging, you need hormones the most to prevent disease. What diseases? Osteoporosis. We didn't talk much about testosterone. Testosterone has 4 tasks. Write this down if you've got a pencil and paper. It's a very important hormone for women as well as men. It helps build new bone. So testosterone will signal the osteoblast to make new bone. The drugs in the market that they say do that interrupt the bone building process. So I would not go that route myself. I love the testosterone route better. It also helps memory recall. It helps energy. And if we can fix your exhausted adrenal glands, it'll help fix libido in 8 months. Do not call me the next day after therapy and say, where's my libido? 8 months. And my question is, how long has it been missing? And they'll say decades, and I'll say that I need 8 months. So this is kind of an important piece for older women. A lot has happened the last 2 years since we've been open, and in that time, from the one little tiny cottage that was built by Abraham Lincoln's cousin Nathan, it's the size of my closet. You could turn around, and that was how big it was. We have that. We're open there on Saturdays. We have 3 offices in Kettering. We have a great new office we're filming here in Mason that I'm really excited about. We've been here in Westchester, Mason for about a year. And then we just signed a lease on a brand new cottage in Crestview Hills, Kentucky. So I'm really excited about that. So when I do this project, this cottage conversation piece again next October, I can't wait to see how many more offices we have open between now and then, because Crestview Hills, Kentucky is going to be another great location. It's right next to Thomas More College and down from St. Elizabeth Hospital, and it's just a great community of women. And I'll tell you how we determine where we're going to go next is I have a great website guru who really analyzes where my website information is going and the hits it's getting and Google Analytics and all of that. It's over my head, but anyway, he does all that. And he said for a long time, Northern Kentucky generates a lot of interest in what it is you're doing. And we have women calling, when are you going to come to Kentucky? So we're there. We're on our way. We're going to open in about, I hope, 2 to 3 weeks. So I'm excited about that. And here's the reason that we've gone from 1 office to 7 in 2 years is because women are better. All women want to sleep. They want to lose weight. They want to have a better libido. I have women that haven't had sex in years. I'm like, oh, don't tell me that. So if women aren't better, and we get them better, and one thing women do well is they talk. And so when you fix one woman, you impact an entire community, and women talk. And so every woman who comes in that gets better as a guinea pig for her entire inner circle, and they all come to me. So we've opened 7 facilities in 2 years because women are better, and they talk to other women. I don't really have to advertise much anymore. I mean, I do, but word of mouth is my biggest marketing tool, getting women better by honoring the relationship, validating their journey, and checking in with them has made us successful. We're known in 3 great areas. We're known for great customer service. We're known for non-invasive therapy and affordability. Because what we just do topical creams. We do offer supplementation, vitamins, and so on. We like to do physiological dosing. Let me address an issue that I haven't ever really talked about before and try to do it in a very non-judgmental way, and talk about the difference between what we do and pellets. We have a lot of women coming to us, especially in Mason, who have come from pellet therapy. I know there are women out there who do well because they have to, or these places wouldn't be in business. We only see the women who don't do well. I never used them myself. My husband used to make them when he opened the Jungle Jim's Pharmacy, and can still make them now, but we dose based on your body's levels physiologically. So we give you the same amount of hormone cream every day, 24-hour delivery system. It's stable, it's constant. We can adjust dosing as needed by going up or down by 0.1 ml as needed. Pellets are a lot of one hormone, normally testosterone. Sometimes you can put estrogen with it, and they're put into a pellet. I don't know, it's this small little, not a bead, but it's a small, let's say a small capsule. It's implanted, I guess it's subdermally underneath the skin of your hip, where it remains for several months until it dissolves, and it puts a lot of that hormone into your body. And some women must do really well with that. And the comment I hear in their favor is they get a lot of energy right away, and they feel good again with the energy piece, and that's great. I see women here who don't do well, and I'll tell you a story that happened with a lady that came in. I won't give her name to protect her privacy, but she was 61 and came in to see me. And I was sitting right here. She came in. It was 2 months ago. It was hot. She came in wearing a white turtleneck, and I said, "Oh my goodness, let's call her Lee. Oh my goodness, Lee, you're making me hot looking at you." And she began to get teary-eyed, and I'm like, "Oh my gosh, what did I say now?" And she pulled the turtleneck down, and you could see a hairy chest. I mean, I never am at a loss for words, ever. I did not know what to say. I didn't. So I didn't say anything. What do you say? She said, "I can no longer sing in church choir because my voice is deeper." And she was 61, hadn't had any surgeries, hadn't had a period since she was 52, was having monthly periods again that were like she was when she was in her 30s. And so that was pretty dramatic for me. I'm like, wow. We can't really reverse that. We'll do what we can to clean that up. But again, for some people, I think pellets probably work. But we see the people that they don't work. And you cannot put progesterone in a pellet. It had to be the size of a tomato soup can. So I suppose if you had a pellet and you had a couple of the hormones, testosterone and hopefully estradiol, and you took, the drug companies do make a progesterone. It's called Prometrium. It comes in a couple of doses, lasts for about 6 hours. It's soaked in peanut oil. If they took that, I might be okay with it, but you can't really customize that. And the problem is they're pretty expensive, hundreds of dollars. And one facility here in the area charges $4,000 a year. You have to have them implanted every few months because as they get into the system and dissolve, then they decrease. You've got to put them in again. And just to me, it doesn't make sense for me. You do whatever you want. For me, it doesn't make sense. And again, I see the failures. So they just don't make sense to me. What makes sense to me is checking your levels where you are and dosing for you physiologically. And we've had great success doing that. And we don't charge hundreds of dollars. Let's talk about the price of creams for a second. Typically, if you're on a prescription for progesterone cream, it's $25 a month. It's less than $1 a day. All women who are still having periods are normally just on progesterone. Yeah, we're going to add vitamin D. It's 10 cents a day. It's a dime a day. You can probably afford a dime. And then we'll also offer you an adrenal therapy. And this is $39 for $150. They're going to last you several months. And then what else? Maybe you may be on testosterone. I doubt it, but maybe. That's $30 a month. Not a lot of money. And estrogen's $25 a month. We do submit this to your insurance company for you all the time. Every time we have a client, we submit it through their insurance. If they have insurance, what we're finding is this. The copay is more expensive than the cash price. So you pay your cash price, it's cheaper. So I say it's about $1 a day per hormone, although it's not, it's cheaper. So if you're on all three, if you're my age and you're no longer having periods, you've had surgery, whatever, you're just older and no longer having any periods, and we've checked your levels, you're probably going to need estrogen and progesterone and probably testosterone, $75 a month. Again, that is $75, but what's your health worth to you? If I could do $75 a month plus a dime a day and a couple of other supplements, I take 2 probiotics a day and 2 omega-3s a day for my heart health and brain health and to keep the bacteria in my body balanced. So I'm really big on supplements, which I'll talk about in a minute. But if I can do that and prevent disease, I'm way ahead of the curve. I don't take any medication right now, none at all. I don't take blood pressure medicine, antidepressants. I sleep great. Don't need a sleeping aid. I don't want to die with a fistful of drugs in my hands. So if I can do natural therapy to prevent disease, why wouldn't I do that? Just asking. And by the way, my goal for the next year is to get away from insurance. Listen, it's not going to get better. If you think it is, you're on a different planet. It's not going to get better. So women who come to me and then walk away because insurance doesn't cover it, that's fine, but I feel sorry for them. It's never going to get better, ever. It's just going to get worse. So I would love to eliminate insurance altogether. And so you pay out of pocket for the testing kit, $240, $299. It's a one-shot expense. And then you pay $1 a day for the hormone therapy, and then you're done with it. By the way, let's talk about retesting. This is sort of new for us. We like to retest. We used to say a year ago, I said, the therapy you're on is going to be good for you for maybe a few years, and then we're going to go ahead and have you do another test. We've changed our mind on that. We'd like to give you a simple, quick blood spot check. It's the blood spot piece of the combo kit. We also have blood spot kits that are just blood spot, and it's $30 a hormone. So to check your 3 hormone levels, or if you're only on 1 hormone, to check that 1 hormone level every year for $30, pretty cheap and easy. And then you prick your finger, put it on the blood spot card, send it into the lab. The results come back, and you know what it does? It promotes credibility. We're all on the same playing field. Your doctor, your OBGYN, us, you, and so your doctor can't say, oh, that isn't working. Well, yes, it is. We have the results, the proof in the pudding right here. So now we're saying, let's do a simple, quick blood spot check on you every year. We can do saliva testing again. It may not be necessary. I mean, spitting really is a once-in-a-lifetime thing. You don't really want to have to do it a lot if you can help it. Sometimes we'll ask you to. We want to get a read in your cortisol levels again to see how they're healing. We can often use your body's biofeedback to determine that. So that we've said, let's just do the simple, quick blood spot kits. So cheap, easy, love it, and it keeps us all on the same playing field. Here's our new program. And this is kind of a cool thing. It's an overview. You know, we've learned a lot the last couple of years about women. And we know that the first thing we're going to do in this program of hormone balance and ultimately weight loss is to fix the hormone imbalance. I don't know one woman who does not want to lose weight, even if it's 5 pounds. I've not met her yet. Maybe she's out there. Most women want to lose 30 to 40 pounds, especially if they get to be my age. So we have to fix the estrogen progesterone level first. We do that. It takes about 3 months. Then we adjust your dose and you're good to go. We have to reduce elevated cortisol levels. That's the James Wilson adrenal fatigue piece. Then we're going to fix the thyroid. We're going to check your free T3, free T4, TSH, TPO. This kind of checks autoimmune deficiencies and shows us allergies that you might have to gluten or wheat that cause an inflammation in the thyroid, and we've got to fix that piece. Notice the vitamin D here. We'll look at your vitamin B12 and then your ferritin. We know that ferritin is the building block for iron, and your ferritin level needs to be 90 or above for the thyroid to work at the tissue level of cells so you can lose weight and metabolize your food and so on. So we'll also check ferritin levels. If you come back at 3 months and your energy isn't better, much better, we always say, I bet it's a ferritin, vitamin B12, or vitamin D issue. Your vitamin D level should be between 60 and 80. In Ohio, it's hard to do. Vitamin B12 should be, I think, around 850. Don't quote me, but I think. And ferritin should be 90 or above. So women that we have coming in for the 3rd month free visit with Jeff or our nurse Jessica and have some issues, they're always like, let's get a check on these 3 things right here and we'll fix that. So once we get those 3 pieces fixed, here's where that probiotic comes in that I talked about a minute ago. We have a great probiotic that I love. It's called Floragen 3. I did spell this wrong, so it's okay. But it's $26 a month. I take maybe it's $26 and they last for 6 weeks. I take 2 a day. It keeps the bacteria in your gut healthy. It's the good bacteria. If you've got bad bacteria in your gut, it's not going to be able to digest your food, and that's going to build fat. So if you want to lose weight, you got to fix the gut. After you fix the hormone balance, and after you fix the adrenal fatigue, and after you fix the thyroid, you're going to fix the gut issue. So Floragen 3, $26 for 90 capsules, pretty inexpensive. I always take 2 a day. And a bonus too, if you ever go to the doctor with a yeast infection and you get on the antibiotic and you get a yeast infection for that, Floragen 3 will help prevent that yeast infection. It keeps the good bacteria healthy. So I know last year I had bronchitis, got an antibiotic, and got a whopping raging yeast infection 3 days later. And since then I've been taking Floragen 3, not an issue, so I'm going to keep on that. The next step is to fix insulin response, low glycemic foods, wheat and gluten elimination, glycemic foundations powder. Let me talk about that piece for a second, is the weight loss piece, and that would be down the road in your journey. Got this new book, it's the new buzzword, you heard it here first. Dr. William Davis wrote a book called Wheat Belly, brand new release. And what he says in his book is that over the past couple of generations, wheat has become genetically modified. It's no longer the wheat of your grandparents that they could eat wheat and be fine. Back in our grandparents' day, a heavy person, a fat person was pretty rare. Look around you. Most people today in our society, including children, are overweight. significantly. And a lot of it's because we've been told, eat whole wheat. It's better for you than white bread and so on. And I love bread, but you know what? If I'm going to be eating a piece of toast, whole wheat toast, that's been genetically modified, and my glycemic response is going to be increased because of that, I'm going to gain weight. Here's the way my husband explained. I'm not a biochemist, but my husband, and I've read the book, and my husband's explained this to me. Your glycemic index response should be around 55 or lower. You want to eat foods that have a level of 55 or lower. So Google the glycemic index. If you come in for a consultation, we'll give you one of those papers in our step 3 consultations. But you want to find foods that are less than 55. Whole wheat toast shoots it up to maybe 85 or 90. So when you have a glycemic response where the insulin is pumping out at a greater rate, you're gonna build fat. And when you have it when your insulin crashes, you're gonna have no energy. Think about a typical American lunch today. It's a sandwich, right? With the bread. It's the wraps. So the wheat in those is gonna spike up your insulin response, and you're going to go ahead and you're going to gain, you're going to build fat, then you're going to crash at 3 o'clock with no energy, right? So what we do now is we kind of educate our women, because here's what education to me is, being a teacher at heart. Learning is a change of behavior. I'll say that again. Learning is a change of behavior. So if I can educate you and you understand what you're doing and why, and you change your behavior, it's a win for everybody, right? So to be honest with you, my husband and I have gone on this wheat-free, I hate to use the word diet because I don't think that has a good connotation, but a wheat-free eating plan. Not as hard as it looks. It isn't. You can eat any other kind of grain. You can have rice. Look at the people that live in Japan today. They're not heavy. They come here, they get chunky, but in Japan they grow rice. They're not chunky. They're not heavy. You don't grow wheat in Japan. There's not enough land mass to do that. There isn't a wheat field there. There's rice. So you can have rye, you can have pumpernickel, you can have rice. I just heard of in the area a gluten-free bakery. I'm going to go there in the next few days, but it's not as hard as you think. But it's being aware of how much wheat you're eating. Cereals, pastas, breads, noodles, crackers, cakes, cookies, desserts. The one thing I found out that's awesome, you can have chocolate. Yes. So if you want your coffee and chocolate and peanut butter, I'm all about that. You're good. So it's just a matter of being aware and keeping your insulin response down at a nice, even level. So we talked about the low glycemic foods and wheat and gluten elimination. And then what I'm doing now, this is kind of cool, is we have this Glycemic Foundations protein powder that I have a smoothie every morning as my breakfast. Sometimes I'll have it as my lunch instead or in addition to, but what it does is it keeps my glycemic response stable throughout the next 8 hours or so I'm not going to have sugar cravings. Not that I really do anyway, but it keeps that sugar level stable, and then I'm not going to have an insulin response that's going to spike to build fat and so on. Because again, women are already estrogen dominant that store fat anyway, and if you're tired and not sleeping, you're not going to be working out or moving around a lot. Last thing you need is to eat foods that are going to put weight on you. And a lot of my women come to me and say, but Lynn, I really do eat well, and I really try to get out and move, and I'm still gaining weight. Why is that? And some women would say, I'd rather lose a limb than be fat. Women have an issue with weight because estrogen's a fat store and because they've been taught to eat wrong. I mean, you've been taught that eating a piece of wheat toast in the morning was good for you. Eating a Mars candy bar is going to have a lower glycemic response than a piece of wheat toast. Can you believe that? I'm not saying it's healthier, but a lower glycemic response. So you really want to get on that glycemic index Google page and get those numbers printed out. Come in and see us, and we can give you a program for that. But that's kind of the nice piece about weight loss. Supplementation is amazing, important and critical. I also take 2 omega-3s a day, and I like Nordic Naturals. We have those as well. Again, vitamin D. And then fat metabolizers, we can talk about that at the consultations. Exercise is a really big piece. We need to do some resistance training, and we want to get your cardio rate up at least 3 times a week for 30 minutes so you're sweating. So that's critical as well. So weight loss, it's not a quick fix strategy, and it's a process. You're not going to lose weight if 1, 2, and 3 are off. And my Happy Hormone Cottage deals with 1, 2, and 3. We're going to fix your estrogen-progesterone ratio. We're going to fix your adrenal fatigue. We're going to fix your thyroid so you can lose weight. When you own it, eat right, not the way you've been taught, but you're going to change your paradigm. You're going to have a paradigm shift here, change your behavior, learn a little bit about what kinds of foods give you the wrong insulin response. Again, the book, Wheat Belly, we've been talking about. I should get a commission on this book. I don't, but it's a great read. You're going to exercise. And I love the bottom of the poster here where it says, weight is not the issue. Fix the insulin response and you'll fix the weight. So I think that's kind of very eye-opening. It isn't anymore an issue of losing weight, but fix the insulin response. So here's the neat thing about this book. Dr. Davis says if you simply eliminate wheat from your diet, are you ready? Wait for it. You will lose 30 pounds in 6 months. And he says if you do this, he can reverse diabetes. Most people that are overweight are on that slippery slope to being pre-diabetic or diabetic. He says if you do this and level out and watch your insulin response and insulin resistance, he can reverse diabetes for many people. Not everybody, obviously, but for most. I think that's amazing. That's cool. So there you go, our new program. We're now focusing on weight loss. You know, what we do that makes us successful, we listen to our women and we adapt what we do to meet the needs of our clients. And all women, again, want to sleep, have greater libido, and lose weight. So here's our new program. Again, it's about owning your journey, being educated, being patient, and changing your behavior. I have a really cute story about a 65-year-old woman who came in and has been married for, 35 years, way longer than I have. And she said, my libido, it's in the toilet. I just don't have any. I said, well, how long has it been an issue? And she said, oh, a long time. And my husband is a lovely man, but it's important. So I said, well, let's get you started. And I explained to her, I gave her notes. She left happy. She called me the next week. My libido isn't better. She called me every month for the first 8 months. And I kept saying, you need to give it 8 months. You need to give it 8 months. And finally, thank God, it's better. But the point is you have to be patient. I had another lady come in back when I was doing step 1 consultations. And now I'm doing step 2s and other things. And she said she was getting all of the information on the kits, and she's all excited to do the testing, and she just bought the kit, and she said, wait a minute. She goes, if I need testosterone, it's not going to make me horny, is it? Because I don't want to get drunk some night because, I drink and sleep with my husband because I don't like my husband. And when I finished laughing, when I finished laughing and crying so hard, I said, I think you're going to be okay. So we're not going to make you horny, and we don't want you to sleep with your husband. What do you say to that? I don't know. So, I have the best, this isn't a job or a career to me. I have the best passion in the world. My passion, my mission statement, it's not to make money. I don't need your money. I'm okay. I really need you to get better because middle-aged women that are over 35, they don't feel well. And so if I can make a difference in your life and get you to feeling better, then I've done my purpose has been fulfilled. And that's why I have my passion to educate. I taught inner city 6th graders for 30 years, 6th, 7th graders, middle school ages for 30 years. I'm educating middle years women because no one else is doing it, and because it's my passion and I know better. So I think Oprah said it best, if you know better, you do better. If you know better, you do better. So set your intentions. It brings its own set of opportunities. Become educated, become empowered, become committed to your best health naturally. I look forward to seeing you soon.